What's up, you guys? This is another episode of Clash of the Horns, and today we're gonna hit a couple of little headlines, with the Rams going into preseason. We're gonna end up playing the Ravens next week, and this is basically your Rams video of the week until we play the Ravens. So the Rams are in a weird position because they have so many things going on right now. They ended up picking Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, and Ndamukong Suh through free agency and trades, and also Brandon Cook. So they're the most exciting team in the offseason. They're making the most splashes. Basically did a great job getting depth in the offensive line department, edge rusher, inside linebacker position. And now when you're going into the preseason, there's a couple of things that worry me about this football team. And the first one is our backup quarterback. Who's going to be our backup quarterback? Sean Mannion, Luis Perez, another undrafted free agent who did fairly well in Division II school. Sean Mannion's been with the Rams for about 2 to 3 years. Actually 3 years. 3 to 4 years, actually. You know what? Yeah, I think it was 3 years. He was drafted in the third round a couple years back. And when we were having quarterback problems, they ended up getting Case Keenum, and then they ended up getting Nick Foles, and they ended up getting Jared Goff because they didn't really have a lot of confidence in Sean Mannion. So that says a lot to you about how they kind of value Sean Mannion in a way, because they only let him, it was weird, they let him play last year or 2 years ago. I think he was playing either against the Arizona Cardinals for a little bit, and then they ended up letting him play the last game of the year last year against the 49ers, which was our 5th preseason game because none of our starters were playing that game. And he was bad and terrible in both games. So, what else can you say? Maybe we should look into the future and maybe see that Sean Mannion isn't the answer. Because when you look at a backup quarterback, you're looking at a guy that can be consistent, that can be good enough to just get you ahead with other players kind of stepping up to the plate if for some reason, some way, Jared Goff gets injured. And Jared Goff does a great job. He had 3,800 and some passing yards with 28 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions. That was a great year. He probably could have had 4,000 yards last season. From being one of the worst quarterbacks in 2016 to being one of the best, and he even went to the Pro Bowl in 2017. You really want to protect your investment in Jared Goff, and they ended up getting a bunch of linemen. But what if he gets injured? You still are wondering, will Sean McVay, can he somehow coach, Luis Perez into being a quality backup quarterback, or get Sean Mannion into the groove of maybe being more confident inside the pocket? I know that he ended up playing with a lot of backups in the last game last year, and he played with the starting players in 2016, but still he didn't show any flashes of greatness. To me, he was very mediocre in both performances. So I'm looking at preseason games, and Sean Mannion, the only thing he does really good is he comes out fairly well in preseason. But I want to see if Luis Perez can give him a run for his money. So that's one of the headlines I see, is a backup quarterback position. Now the next one is offensive line. You have an aging offensive line with Andrew Whitworth getting older, John Sullivan, the center as well. Roger Saffold, I think, is in his last year of his contract. So is Jamon Brown, and so is Rob Havenstein. So you have a lot of things to worry about the future, but they ended up getting some guys in the draft. Most notably is Joseph Noteboom out of TCU, and Brian Allen, a center/guard. So I want to see what they do in the preseason, how Sean McVay uses them. Maybe puts Joseph Noteboom as a left tackle. I heard maybe they might try to use him at right guard. Maybe they try to use Brian Allen as a center or /right guard, because that's what he plays very well, and he did very well in college. And I like Brian Allen's style. He's more like a brawler, kind of like a Will Hernandez from last year, but in the center position. He's a mauler, he's a brawler, he likes to fight. He's a very great wrestler, so that helps you out a lot when it comes to the center position. He's a little undersized, but he's still very good and consistent at what he does. Now, Joseph Noteboom is a left tackle. He's more versatile. He's not as strong as you would say Andrew Whitworth is, but his movements are a lot faster. He's younger, so he He probably moves faster and will probably be a little bit better in the running game. One thing that Andrew Whitworth does is open holes for Todd Gurley. So you're kind of looking to see that type of performance and consistency with Joseph Noteboom for Todd Gurley. Maybe in the preseason, maybe as being a backup left tackle, maybe plays a right tackle, because I think he plays left tackle, right tackle. But there's also rumors that he might be playing right guard in the preseason. So that's another thing to look at after. Another headline would be the inside linebacker position, because you have Corey Littleton and you have Mark Barron both trying to start and be the predominant inside linebacker for this football team. But then you also have Ramik Wilson, who got picked up through free agency. You have Micah Kaiser, a guy that I'm very excited about and can't wait to see what he does in preseason as an inside linebacker. I think he was drafted in the 4th or 5th round, and that's very exciting because that's one thing Leslie has done in the past few years, is getting guys in the mid rounds are like really good starters or really well backups. So that's something that you have to kind of wait and see how they do, especially where inside linebacker was our most inconsistent position. But one thing you saw with Corey Littleton was flashes of greatness. I mean, in special teams, against the run, especially when it comes to pass coverage. I mean, he did everything consistently well. Alec Ogletree at times at the inside linebacker position. So I can't wait to see what they have. I mean, Micah Kaiser is a speedy guy, especially in college. I think he broke a record for solo tackle, so you know he's great against the run, and he's a really, really, really good blitzer. If you see his tape, he's very good at blitzing, and he's one of the best at tackling, basically. So that's what we want with the Rams, because they already have a great defensive line. You have Ndamukong Suh, you have Michael Brockers, and you will have Aaron Donald back, hopefully sooner than later. He's still going through his contract disputes with the Rams, but that's something we kind of got used to already. But he for sure will be back, and they're going to make a run for it. So that is my third headline. And I'm going to say my fourth and final, because I think everything else is set for the Rams. My fourth and final headline would be for the preseason to look out for would be the edge rushing position, because a lot of people are looking at Samson Ebukam and Matt Longacre, and a lot of people can't pronounce his name right, but it's Matt Longacre, and he's going to be coming back. I think he had surgery through like the end of the year last season, but he was one of our leading leading sack leaders last year until like the middle of the season, where Aaron Donald started picking up his sack total. But Matt Longacre was one of the underrated ballers last season, and he will be back. But we ended up picking a guy that I think is going to be very special. I think he may possibly be Rookie of the Year this year for the Rams, maybe in the NFL. But his name is Abognia Okoronkwo, and he is going to be I think he came out of Oklahoma, and he's going to be one of the elite pass rushers. He's a little undersized, but he's so damn fast and flexible and versatile. And I mean, when you have a front seven like the Rams are going to have this year, you're going to have to be able to pick up the blitzes very well, and that's something I see Okoronkwo doing it very, very well. And I can't wait to see him in the preseason. I think we have a quality backup edge rushers, and we have quality. You can say secondary, that's another topic, but we already know our Rams secondary is going to be very elite. But our edge rushing position, they have a lot of guys through the draft. They picked up some guys in free agency, and I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, you have Samson Ebukam, who showed you just like Corey Littleton last year, and I made a video about them on my YouTube channel, if you guys haven't already seen it, where they show flashes of greatness. I mean, they come in blitzing, they go on special teams, they do everything very well. And I see Okoronkwo doing the same thing this year. He might be starting, he might be a quality backup like Samson was this year. But I can't wait to see what the Rams do in free agency. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think that the quarterback backup position is important, maybe not, or how you guys look at the offensive line, the inside linebacker position. Maybe you guys have other position battles that you guys think are very important. I mean, I left out the tight end position because Corey, Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett. Both of those guys are great. And either way, if you start either one of them, I'll be like, I'm happy with that. I think one has the edge when it comes to blocking. The other one has the edge to be as a receiver. So it all depends on what you like your tight ends to do more. But in all fairness, you guys, let me know what you guys think. If you guys think that I was, right on the money, or maybe you guys have a difference of opinion, that's cool. Leave it in the comment section. And I can't wait to see the Rams play the Ravens in Baltimore and then make a video right after that. So until next time, you guys, horns up, let's go Rams, and the road to the Super Bowl begins against the Ravens. Until next time, you guys, I'm out.